Well, that pretty much went as expected. After a disappointing loss to Freo last week, any hope of a bounce back died when Port Adelaide went scoreless at quarter time, eventually losing to North Melbourne 87-15 in our worst loss to the Roos in our 5 matchups against them. Which, on that topic, can the AFLW stop fixturing us against North Melbourne? We're not rivals, we never have been, and I'd like to have some winnable games on the fixture. So can we please stop getting given North Melbourne every single season and give us like some other teams, like I know Carlton. Anyway, there really isn't any positives or negatives you can really get out of a game like this when you've got players like the North Melbourne Kangaroos who are just, let's face it, on a completely different level to every other team in the comp. You can't really see what your team did right or wrong when you just get completely outplayed by basically AFLW superhumans. So, to try and take what I can out of this game, I was definitely disappointed with how we once again started really slow, allowing way too much space for the North Melbourne players to easily move the ball in the first quarter. The fact that this has happened twice in both last week and this week is just totally unacceptable. We need to be ready to play 100% of footy from the first bounce, not after a coach's spray at quarter time. Also, outside of our defensive play, I was also really disappointed with our inside 50 play as well. While we're definitely a lot cleaner from the many missed handballs and kicks of last week, we're definitely getting outmarked inside 50 way too much without first, bringing the ball to ground. To be honest, I feel like we were just really lucky that North Melbourne was doing so well that they were basically getting cocky, trying to run the ball and handball the ball to get it closer to goals for easier shots, and we thankfully were able to shut down a bunch of that to save us from potentially losing over 100. And in a week where we saw two teams concede over 100. I'm just so glad that we weren't one of those. So, trying to say some other positives, I felt like we had some players really begin to show what they can do. I was glad Houghton was able to kick 2 goals, our only 2 goals, but it was definitely better than last week where she was just completely shut down. Pope is showing some really good running speed, and I think she's going to be one of our best forwards. And Maloney and Lamb had definitely some good play in the midfield, getting the ball out of congestion. And Schultz too, especially with her 2 marks in the third quarter, which unfortunately she couldn't turn into goals. Outside of that, I was definitely impressed with some of the physicality we show. I think we left the North Melbourne Kangaroos quite bruised and battered after that game, and it looks like we've escaped injury-free. I hope I don't eat those words when the injury report comes out this week. I was definitely very impressed with Goody, especially. She did a lot of heavy tackling and definitely looked to get very argy-bargy with the team, and I was very happy with that. Our debutants are showing a little bit of I think Soudan obviously was playing last week, almost kicked a goal, and then this week Patterson almost kicked a goal. I definitely think we're going to see a lot of them next week when we play the Suns. So speaking of that, let's talk about next week. Finally, we have a game we can actually win. Well, I really hope I haven't just jinxed it. Anyway, obviously, the Suns are coming off an even worse defeat than us this week. So you think we're coming into this game as the favourites? I think our girls are very hungry for a win. I, for self, am very keen to get a win after this horrible start to the year. And I'm very keen to get off the bottom of the ladder ASAP. So hopefully we can look forward to that. Until next time, let's go Power!